IRS. That lets us to practice before the Internal Revenue Service and any other taxing authority that accepts our authority. We receive our licensure from the IRS. Do you carry your card with you?
I think it's in my wallet.
I carry mine in my wallet every now and then and whip it out just to show people because they don't believe me. I have a card. Emily and I have cards from the Internal Revenue Service. I say we carry cards, not badges. The ones with the badges are the ones you really need to fear. We're on your side. We're here to help you. So the program is about taxation. We do prepare tax returns, and we are preparing tax returns right now. It is that time of the year, and it's been off to a little bit of a slow start, and I don't know why. I know there are people saying they're not getting their W-2s as fast, and they're waiting for a lot of the financial stuff to come in.
Well, the IRS had all kinds of maintenance issues for the first 2 weeks.
Yes, they've had maintenance issues. Their systems were not up and running till January 8th.
Or later.
But they told us the 8th or later. And here we are the 20th of January, and we're just getting started. We're pretty far behind. However, I have already e-filed a small handful of returns, simple returns, people with 1 or 2 W-2s, and they've already come back accepted. Yes, that happened last night. Actually, it happened yesterday morning. They came back. So I got acceptances from the IRS, and I got an acceptance from South Carolina.
What happened to the gates not open till the 29th?
Well, and I've said this on the radio before. What I think happens is this. So let me explain to everybody out there. We as tax professionals, we have to e-file. That means we have to electronically send your tax return to the IRS. We do not paper file anymore. As a matter of fact, technically, it is illegal for us as tax professionals to paper file. Now, there are returns that have to be paper filed because there's a form or forms that are not e-file compatible. It's a small handful of forms. I think last year I only ran into like 2, maybe 3 that had that. The one form is a very complicated form for reporting old cost basis, and I can see that because that's a manual calculation. The computer doesn't do that. And then there's another one, but they were very minor. Very, like I said, out of the thousands of tax returns that we do, I think I paper filed maybe 3 that I had to paper file. The rest of it's electronic. Okay, of course, prior year returns that are older than 3 years, you have to paper file, but that's again very rare. So what happens is they said we were not going to start accepting them until January 29th, but we can go ahead and send it, and it sits on the IRS's server, and we just keep getting a pending status every day. When I do my status report, it comes back as pending. What I've seen in prior years is that they'll maybe run a test batch because they don't want to open up the gates on the 29th. They realistically will have 20, 30, 40 million. I've heard different estimates of tax returns ready, sitting on that server, ready to go, and maybe even more because it's been growing every year. So they might pull a batch of a couple of 100,000 just to make sure they work. But I had 5 or 6, I'm not sure, come back accepted already. Now, does that mean they're going to get their refunds any faster? I doubt it. Although I have filed tax returns the 20th, 21st, right when it opened, and I've had people call me first week of February saying, how did you do that? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just sent it to the IRS. Okay, I got my refund. The money's in the bank. Like, are you sure? Because that is quick. That is like 9 days, 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. So do you have your tax return done?
It's waiting.
It's waiting for me to approve it?
To make sure I have my documents.
Yeah. It's
by
still,
the end of January.
Yeah, it's still early, and there's a few 1099s and things like that usually come in late. So we are doing tax returns. We are accepting new clients. So give us a call, 828-289-9300. We have 2 offices. We're at 704 Oak Street in Forest City, right next to Big Dave's Fish Camp. Yeah, why do I have to have a marker, right? Does Big Dave say he's next to Carmona Financial Consultants?
I don't know, but we always say Big Dave's because everybody knows where Big Dave's is.
Everybody. I was in Greenville, and I'm talking to some people, And I said, I'm an accountant. And the lady's like, oh, we need, whatever, however the conversation was going, they had some investment questions. And I'm just making small talk with them. And she says, oh, please give me your card. We'd like to come see you. So I said, yo, we're at 704 Oak Street. And I said, right next to Big Dave's. And she goes, we love Big Dave's. We go up there at least once a month. We like, what? She goes, that's you in the bank building. I said, yeah, that's me. She goes, we've seen your sign. I'm like, I can't believe I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, and the lady knows we're big. Well, I've heard this from people from Greer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon does a good job. So let's give Brandon a plug. Everybody go to Big Dave's today and look at my building next to it, the 704 Oak Street. And we have 226 South Trade Street in Tryon.
We'll be there today at 704 Oak Street.
We're going to be there. We are there today. I'm there today from 10 to 4. We are open on Saturdays now, Tom. No more Saturdays off. We are all hands on deck, which you're coming in today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're there, and we've got the calendars. We've got booking appointments already. We will be working Saturdays probably through the end of tax season, probably through April. Usually the Saturday after April 15th because we're pretty busy. But I've also got another office in Tryon, 226 South Trade Street. Emily, the beautiful Art Deco building right off the historic downtown Tryon. But one phone call gets you an appointment at both. That's 828-289-9300. We do individual tax returns. We do business tax returns. We do not-for-profit tax returns. We do estates, trusts. Am I leaving anything out? No, I think I got them all covered. Corporations, LLC, partnerships. We do them all. I'm going to talk... First of all, let me get into, did you see this? Today's the 20th of January.
Yep.
You know what today is? Today's the day that the Iranian hostages were released.
That's right, 81.
80, yes. I remember this.
I do too.
I remember Ronald Reagan being inaugurated, because this is Inauguration Day, the 20th of January.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan, so the hostages were held for how many days? 444 days?
Something like that.
So for those of you, for you young people out there, when were you born? You weren't even born in 1981, were you? No. Emily's like, this is ancient history to
No,
her.
but I really like Ronald Reagan, so proceed.
Okay, Ronald Reagan. So Jimmy Carter's the president, and no disrespect towards Jimmy Carter, but he was not a feared man in the Islamic world.
He tried to get him, and
It was a catastrophe in the desert.
and yeah,
American
failed.
soldiers died.
It failed.
Yeah, it failed.
Well,
The operation failed.
it came out later that information leaked.
Really?
They knew about it.
Well, I don't remember hearing that, but I remember.
Yeah,
I remember. So what happened is
that.
hostages were taken from the embassy
Yeah.
in Iran when the Shah of Iran fell, and all of that's history. So there were hostages. Do you remember how many hostages? It was a lot of hostages.
Yeah.
They were held. I don't remember the number. They were held for 444 days. So Jimmy Carter did try a military attack or military operation, and it failed. I think helicopters crashed in the desert,
Yeah.
and several servicemen died. It was a very sad moment for American diplomacy. And so the hostages were held, and I think they were kept in the American embassy. They were pretty much there for 444 days. And Ronald Reagan said, and he was just such an imposing man, and I mean that in a good way, and he had such a, when he spoke, he said, the first thing I'm going to do is free the hostages. I will launch a military assault. We will do everything to get them out. And the Iranians believed him.
Yep.
I mean, they believed him. So when he was getting inaugurated, they were putting the hostages on the airplane.
Yeah.
They let American media or European media, whatever, but let the Americans know that they were putting them on a plane. So I remember him being sworn in and there being a split screen on the television, which was big technology in 1981. Okay, this
That's what
was
I keep hearing.
cutting edge. And the Iranians were putting the Americans on an airplane, like a nice airplane. They were giving them like flowers.
Yeah.
They were they were like waving at them like bon voyage.
No.
Tell Ron you were treated well. Literally. They before the inauguration was over, they were in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really set his presidency off on the right foot. It literally, like, he could do no wrong. And then fast forward 8 years, well, really 9 years, Bush was president, but the Berlin Wall comes down. I mean, what just an incredible. So I always remember this day, the 20th of January. Is what a day in American history. So it's today. Anything special going on? No, nothing. Of course not. I'm probably the only one that remembered it. Did you mention it earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. So the 20th of January. Okay, let me get back to taxes. That was Gilbert Talks History. This one gets me going every time. So it's tax season. Teachers out there, yeah, you've read this, right? Okay, it's tax season. Well, everybody gives a groan. K through 12 educators. So this was the only thing that when Trump did the new tax bill, this was the first thing I looked at. I said, are they going to give teachers more money? And they didn't. And I was so upset with this. Okay, so you teachers know you get a special educator expense deduction. You get a whopping $300 deduction for buying supplies for your classroom. And really, this is a joke. The joke is they started doing this in 2002. I don't remember I remember when this started. This is when I first started really doing tax returns. So 2002, they did this, and it was $250. It has been $250 until last year. They raised it, Tom, are you ready? $300. They raised it to $300. The current filing season, the deduction remains, and I was really hoping they were going to bring it up this year. I mean, inflation, the Social Security went up 8%. Everything's pretty much an 8%, and economists are saying that's low. That really, real inflation is double digits. It's probably closer to 15, 16, 17%. When they're talking about real inflation, what you're really feeling when you go to buy food, when you go to buy, some state is doing a $75 per family tax credit. I think it's Michigan. There's some state that doesn't have any money. And I told Christy read it to me, and I said, oh, it must be an election year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it must be an election year. They're giving people 70. So they're giving families in I'm pretty sure it's Michigan, some state, they're giving them $75. Like to help with the burden, and this whole speech about it. And I'm like, $75, that doesn't buy you lunch for a family of 5 at Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry. That's $75? I'm like, are you for real? It's going to cost them more to process the checks than the $75 they're getting.
They can get cheese on the Whopper.
They can get cheese on the. They can supersize it.
Yeah.
So anyway, they raise you teachers out there. I feel for all of you. It's $300. I was really hoping that it would have been $500 or $600. So, but let me read the rest of the story, because this was an interesting story. Classroom teachers use around 550. Now, this is on average. Classroom teachers that were polled by the National Association of Tax Preparers, who did this story, said that the average classroom teacher uses $550 of their own money. And 1 in 5, 20% of the teachers polled, said they spend over $1,000 to buy supplies. And I've said this in prior years. A tax attorney in Baltimore said this is a joke. This amount is so small. And then they interviewed a teacher who said, I spend way more than this, and several other teachers were interviewed. But one thing that was interesting is, I want to read this comment there. This is a young teacher, just got out of school in 2017, and he said, it would be nice if school districts provided financial training and information for teachers. Ambrose said, just 22 years old when he entered the profession in 2017. Ambrose recalls having very little understanding of how personal taxes work when he first began his career. Ambrose said that as a new classroom teacher just out of college, he would search during tax season for receipts as proof of the money he spent in the classroom. And as time went on, I knew I was always exceeding the deduction limit. Who estimates that he spends $500 a year. So this deduction is really a small drop in the bucket. I have heard teachers, new teachers, their first year tell me they've spent $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 because they're getting everything ready. Once they've been doing it for a few years, they buy less and less things because you have things left over. But they said the first couple of years are crippling. So $250 was a joke. $300 is a joke, but it's $300 this year, and that's per person. So if you have a husband and wife teaching team, it's $600. Emily, I know that is so low. Who can I call about that? Let me call somebody about that. Let's take a break. The program is Gilbert Talks Taxes, among other things. WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. I want to tell you about another great local business, Forest City Concrete and Grading. Call Sean at 828-447-5949. Sean is a licensed general contractor. He can do your job from site development to completion. That's Forest City Concrete and Grading. Call Sean at 828-447-5949 and tell him Gilbert Talks Taxes sent you.
A good sign is good business. Make your business stand out with a professional sign from Dia Signs and Graphics. Successful companies all over the United States trust the team at Dia Signs and Graphics. With 25 years of professional experience, we have the ability to present your company's image in the best light. Not only display signs, but Dia Signs and Graphics can print banners of all sizes. If you need magnetic signs or window and vehicle graphics, call on Dia Signs and Graphics today. We offer a full line of sign products for any event. 3D, sandblasted, storefront, and monument signs are just a part of a complete selection of quality signage. Professional signs and banners to fit any budget. Let your business stand out. Call Dia Signs and Graphics today at 286-4900 or stop by the sign shop located on Main Street in downtown Spindale. And check our website for more suggestions at diasignsandgraphics.com.
And D&S Signs has moved. They're now at 1621 Porsford Road in Rutherford. That address again, 1621 Porsford Road.
Anyway, we are back. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming. Now, Emily, they can't see you. Now they can see you.
I can't see me either.
No, because the camera, see, but we got this camera over here and that camera there. Hi, live streaming people. See, the camera's up there. They've moved it up there.
Oh, okay.
So now there's a monitor in the way. They can see
he's
that.
got this nice new monitor that's probably
Like
really great.
60 inches. Look at that thing. It's those of you live streaming. You can see Gilbert and half of Emily.
Right there.
You're there. www.wcab.com. Those of you that pick this up later on YouTube and people all across the country. And I got my analytics, and there's people listening to us in like India, Brazil, South Africa. Those are like our demographics. Like Brazilians are listening, and South Africa.
We should do a little Portuguese.
I should do. Well, I'm fluent in Spanish. Those of you that have been listening know I was born in Cuba. I am Cuban. Spanish is my first language. But I speak a little. Falando pouquinho português. Pouquinho português. Pouquinho, no muito, pouquinho português. So I think we just would lose everybody if we did this. So we are. Yeah, they're going. What did I pick up? Some international thing here? Let's go back. We're a country. We just didn't say what country. It's pure country. So those of you listening, Kate, thank you so much, and it really means a lot to us. We are doing tax returns. We are full steam ahead, getting very little sleep, as you can tell. Give us a call. Schedule an appointment, 828-289-9300. The question I get, well, do you want to talk about, let's talk about scams, because it's unbelievable the scams going on, and it wouldn't be a Gilbert Talks Taxes program without talking about scams.
So there's a new one going around. The IRS put out an alert last week about a new client scam where people are sending emails to tax preparers posing as a new client. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm looking for a tax preparer. It sounds very legitimate, but they have a link. If you want to see my information, click here. And we all know from protecting our online presence that you should never click on a link from someone you don't know, or even someone you do know if you're not expecting it. So that's like a number one red flag there. But apparently when you click the link, it hacks your system and completely causes havoc. So they're saying to just be aware of that. There's phishing and other things that they've got in those emails looking to be new clients, but they're not really.
Yeah, I think I've gotten several of those, by the way. I think I've gotten them because when we reply, they don't reply back. I don't click links.
No, they want you to click the link. So if you don't click the link, you didn't take the bait. So they move on to the next fish.
They move on to the next one. And even on your phone, they want you to click
Yeah.
the link.
I've been getting like signals, which is supposed to be a really safe platform, but I've been getting signal messages asking me to invest in cryptocurrency from people I don't know. So I just block it and report
Yeah, right.
junk. But be aware.
Yeah, plus you wouldn't, you listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes way too much. You would not invest in cryptocurrency.
Right. Anybody that knows me wouldn't be asking me to invest in
Cryptocurrency. Yeah, no, we don't invest in cryptocurrency. No, there's other ways to lose money. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least yeah. There you go,
Right,
Tom.
that's pretty easy, Tom.
Yeah, there's other ways to lose money. We don't need to be investing in cryptocurrency. There's just so many scams going on right now, and it's that time of the year when people get the scam. This is the IRS. We are holding your refund because of an error in your return. Click the link or give us a call.
Don't do either one.
And I mean, years ago, I would share the stories. It seems like it was more prevalent. People are more aware of it now. But I'm convinced something happens in people's brains when they hear IRS and we're holding your refund. It's like all logic goes out the window. And because I would say to them when they would call me, because they call me after the fact. The IRS called me and I had to verify my banking information. You did what? Yes, I gave my date of birth and my social security number. And they had it all wrong. What did you do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong.
The IRS never calls you.
They never call you. They will never ask you for. They don't even answer the phone, let alone pick up the phone to call you.
Can't call them.
They will send you letters.
Yes, that's all they do is send you letters. And that's what I try telling people. But it's something happens, something clicks with them. And
It's that ferosophobia.
ferosophobia. Tom, you know what ferosophobia is. Oh no, Tom. No. We're not no.
Playing his way eating the grits.
Ferosophobia is the inordinate fear of the Internal Revenue Service and taxes. It's actually a thing. They're trying to get that put into the medical dictionary.
For a
What do you call that?
diagnosis.
Yeah, for a diagnosis of ferosophobia. So, are you afraid of seeing your tax preparer? Are you afraid of the IRS? Are you afraid you might owe money? Call Gilbert Carmona, 828-289-9300. We know how to treat ferosophobia. And then I need like a testimonial. Emily, a woman's voice too. Like, I was really afraid to go get my tax return done. But then I saw Gilbert. He helped me with my ferosophobia.
Wear a lab jacket.
Yeah, I'll have a lab jacket on.
Stethoscope.
Oh, are we on the air? Okay,
Yeah.
let's get back to talking about taxes. People, this is the time of the year. Well, I guess we are talking about taxes. We're talking about
Yeah.
ferosophobia. Okay, this is the time of the year
Fear.
that people call me because people are cleaning out their closets, they're cleaning out their offices, they're cleaning out their workspaces, and I get the phone call about,
How long do I have to keep my tax returns from prior years?
yeah, you get that phone call too. How long do I have to keep my tax records? We get that question. So let me say this, because people say it, they go, how long does the IRS require me to keep my records? Okay, just so you know, there is no IRS requirement that you keep your records. Like, there's no law. Because people say, well, what's the law say? The law doesn't say anything. All the law says is this. If you get audited, okay, this is legally the legal. You must keep your records as long as they may be needed for the administration of any provision of the Internal Revenue Code. That's literally what the law says. What does that mean? You basically got to keep your tax records long enough so that if you get audited, you can produce clean records. You can produce what they want. So how long is that?
Could be 3 years.
Yes.
Could be 7 years.
Could be 6 years.
Could be indefinite if you decided to commit fraud.
Yes. And a lot of people commit fraud without knowing they've committed fraud.
Really?
Well, people with the ERC, people that are making ERC
yeah.
claims,
There's that.
the IRS is labeling a lot of those fraud. I think they're doing that more just to have a bucket to put them in, because no bucket existed before.
It's like its own animal.
Yeah, well, so they're just saying these are fraudulent returns. If it doesn't, like the people that didn't even have payroll, that are trying to get a credit back for payroll, there's people that did that, you know. There are a bunch of that, and that girl reached out to me. A girl, let me say it this way, a person, assumed it was a girl, reached out to me, wanted to know if I would file prior 941s so they could amend the 941s to claim the credit. I said, well, no, you have to file the 941 first. And she said, well, you can file it late. I said, no, that's fraud. Oh, no, it's not. I'm like, no, conversation over. Sorry, I can't help you. You know, I realized that, 5 minutes into the conversation, what she was trying to do. But she's out there advising people that they can do this. So she probably had a bunch of clients and then went to go find some tax preparers to do it for her. And I pity the ones that got involved with her. And this is just one that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. How many others are there across the country? I know that they said New York was just a cesspool of them. And you know who it is? Tax attorneys are a lot of them that are doing it. So the IRS is labeling those fraud. So fraudulent returns, no limit. What about you didn't file a return? No limit.
Well, if you didn't file a return, there's a possibility you don't have records to keep, right?
Right, but so there's no limit. So the IRS can come back to you, and North Carolina will come back to you. North Carolina will come back to you for 10, 11, 12 years. Okay? And then if you filed a claim for a credit or a refund, it's 3 years. Or you file a claim with a loss for worthless securities, or for investment-related claims, it's 7 years. So CPAs, EAs, tax attorneys have always told people, keep them at least 7 years. I think that was just a safe answer because 7 years will cover pretty much anything. So my answer to people is, my new answer that I'm saying now, is computer memory is so cheap. Scanners are so cheap. You can literally get a good scanner for a couple of $100s. What I'm telling people, and memory is, terabyte hard drives are like $90. I mean, it is incredibly cheap. I mean, a good laptop today, a decent laptop today is $500-600. So my answer to people is, and most everybody has a computer. I can't think of, most people have a computer. Most people have access to a computer. My answer to people is just scan everything and just keep it as long as possible. Just scan it. If you still are old school paper, and you've been filing your tax returns and you've never had any problems, 7 years is safe. And that's 7 years from the tax year. So like right now we're filing 2023 tax return. Okay, so go back 7 years from that. So you're 2022 and 7 years before that. So you should have your records to the 2015 tax filing. That's just what I've been telling people. But with scanning and PDFs and the way it is right now, this conversation is really not even a big deal anymore. Just have good storage. Have somewhere where you're going to keep these things. Google Drive is probably one of the best things out there. And I'm not endorsing Google. I'm just saying they've got a good thing. Amazon has a cloud. I mean, everybody pretty much has a cloud-based system now that you can buy into. And a lot of them are free. Now they do have storage limits, but if you're getting up to a gigabyte of data, that's a lot. I mean, if you're having to pay beyond that, that's really not a big deal. Cloud storage. So there's a lot of solutions, and just get a good old school scanner and just scan everything and put it away. Because this is what the IRS will do in an audit. They don't want to see originals. As a matter of fact, I've done many programs about this. Never, ever, ever, ever give them your originals. And that is a never, ever. Give them, the IRS or North Carolina or anybody, your originals. There was actually a court case that went all the way to tax court where a man gave the auditor 4 boxes of original documents that he had no copies of. The tax auditor quit or got transferred or whatever the story was, and they lost the boxes. So the new auditor came and said, well, I don't have the boxes. And the guy said, well, I gave them to you. And he says, I don't have them. So the auditor said, no, it's your job to give them to me. And the guy said, no, it's your job to go find those boxes. So it went all the way to tax court, and tax court ruled with the IRS. And they told the guy, you shouldn't have given him your originals.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch. That's a big ouch. So all the IRS cares about is that you produce copies of it. So you back it up, and then you just print it. So you're going to copy it anyway, so go ahead and do it now. Scan it, put it away. And remember, if you close your bank account, make sure you have all your bank statements. This is the time of the year that we do people's tax returns. This is mostly with businesses, but personal, it's just a good habit to get into. Once you close your bank account, most banks will terminate your access to your online. Some will give you 6 months. Some might give you a year. But that's it. There is a point where you're done. And even if you pay for them, somebody went to a bank, and it had been 12 months. And somebody went to the bank, and they were willing to pay. Okay, I need all these bank statements for 3 years. He was being audited 3 years. And he had some, but not all. And the bank said, oh, we purged our system after 12 months. Yeah, he couldn't get anything he needed from the bank, which was your check images, which was all of it. And that turned into a mess that could have been avoided. So remember, if you close your bank account, make sure you've got your bank statements. It'd be a good idea to just go in and download PDFs. Just download them and store them somewhere. Again, Google Drive. What's the one with the elephant? Evernote. There's a bunch of them, and they're free. Most of them are free. Store them, and just by year, and keep them put away. It's just a good practice to get into. And if you change apps, same thing. The data will be deleted after a point. Some apps, it's pretty quick. It's like 12 months is with banks, but some apps it's like 30 days, 45 days. Your access is gone. There was one app that went out of business, and they told everybody for 30 days they were sending people texts and emails. We're closing. Our servers. We're going to shut the servers down. We're going to shut the server. And of course, the people were like, I can't get my stuff. They warned you. They told you for 30 days. Get your stuff now. We're shutting down. So, okay. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and take our second break. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9.
This is Kimberly. If you owe the IRS for prior years or you have unfiled tax returns, don't call those national toll-free numbers. Affordable, secure, and local help is available for you. Call Gilbert at 828-289-9300. Gilbert is an enrolled agent permitted to practice before the IRS. Taxation is his specialty. He knows the latest laws to help you with your problem. Avoid garnishments, levies, and liens. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert at 828-289-9300.
Hi, I'm Sandra. My husband Peterson and I own Precision Detail and Tint. We invite you to come to our new location at 620 U.S. Highway 64, Rutherfordton, on the corner of Silvers Lake Road and Highway 64. Whether you need specialty detailing for your car, RV, or boat, or window tinting for your automobile, or home or business, we can help you. Voted Best of Rutherford County for 11 straight years, you will know you will get quality work at a good price. Stop by for an appointment or call 828-245-8889. We're open Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 1.
We are back. We are back. Are we done Morse coding? We are back. I'm still hearing Morse code. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes. WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming, good morning. There's Emily sticking her head around the monitor. We are here in the Blue Room. and I'm wearing my blue vintage tie. I really need to stop the vintage thing. Did you hear me last week? What Andrew, who's 86 years old, told me. He says, "Boy, that tie you're wearing's dated." I'm like, it's vintage, Andrew. He goes, "No, it's dated." When the 86-year-old guy's telling you your tie's dated.
Stuff I grew up with, they're calling vintage. So, I mean,
Yeah, it's coming back. It's all coming back. It all comes back eventually. So keep it in your closet long enough. Although plaid pants, I don't think will ever come back. Tom, how many pairs do you have hanging in the closet there, Tom?
I have one pair, and then for like a year, and then
That was it.
that's it.
Yeah, those will never come back. Leisure suits may come back.
I hope not. Never have.
The program is Gilbert Talks About Everything right here, WCAB. Whatever station we're on. WCAB. I am Gilbert Carmone. I am an enrolled agent. I am a tax preparer. I'm a financial planner, a business consultant. What else do I do? Emily, I do a little bit of everything. We do a little bit of everything. We are preparing tax returns right now. Now, Emily's main job since she became an enrolled agent, since she got her master's degree, by the way. Yes, she got her master's degree in accounting. She has an MMAC, and she does the tax issue resolution. Her job is to talk. She's really taken a lot of it off of me. Her job now, she's the one that's on the phone all day with the IRS, talking to them. How was it yesterday? I saw you were on the phone quite a bit with them.
it was good. The hold time's getting better.
The hold times are getting better. Yeah, they're putting more and more people on the phone now. North Carolina's hold times are not better.
No, they're worse.
I was on hold yesterday 3 times. The first time I was on hold for over an hour. Second time was 30 minutes, and then I had a phone call come in that I had to get. And then the third time was like 20 minutes and an appointment that
California's not that great either.
No, California's horrible. California is absolutely horrible. They're one of the worst ones to deal with. And then when you get somebody on the phone, it's the wrong department. They transfer you to the wrong thing. I've never had good experiences. I've had good experiences with North Carolina when they answer the phone. So right now we're having long lead times. But I got to say this about North Carolina's DOR. And I'll stand behind this. Their people are good. When they get on the phone and they answer the phone, if they don't have an answer, they can get me to the department. They know the computer systems are good. This is really funny because, and this just shows the state of things. We're enrolled agents. For those of you that are listening that don't know this, Emily and I are both enrolled agents. So our job, one of our jobs, is we don't just prepare the tax return. Now, I do financial planning also, but we don't just do the tax return. When you get the letter, the thing that makes us so different is when you get the letter, we can help you with it. We talked about this. I talked about it last week, where we've gotten 3 new clients this year because when letters came, they went to their tax preparer, and their tax preparer said, "Oh, I don't help you with that. I just prepare the tax return." And the guy's like, "Well, you're the one, the IRS wants information." "Oh, no, I don't do that. You need to take care of that." And the guy came to me, he says, "I'm not talking to the IRS." He had like a 14-page letter from the IRS, right? And it wasn't anything complicated. I mean, for us, it wasn't complicated, but for him, it was like the end of the world. And the tax preparer wouldn't even read the letter. So,
Yeah,
I know.
It's IRSese, so you have to know the language.
Yeah, and that's what we did when we took our enrolled agent exams. We learned the language, and we talked their language. But one thing I got to say about North Carolina is they're very good. But the thing I was going to say is you would think the big cities or the big states like New York, Pennsylvania, California would really have a tax department that's really got it all together. No, it's the opposite. One of the best tax departments I ever talked to was like Missouri, Arkansas, Alabama. Hey, South Carolina has a really sophisticated internet system called My Doorway that's very sophisticated. It's really like cutting edge. That's South Carolina. North Carolina, very good. Mississippi. I would have thought it would have been the other way around. I remember calling New York, had a client, had a problem. And see, when you think of New York, you think of New York City. But the capital of New York is Albany. Okay, yeah, Albany. Okay, you've been to Shelby, right?
Upstate.
Yeah. Think, okay, yeah, think that, okay? It's not, because people are thinking, New York City, boom, boom, get it done. No, Albany. So I'm talking to the lady on the phone, and I'm explaining to her the problem, and she's like, oh, is that what the problem is? And I'm like, yeah. I said, what's your computer system say? She says, well, system's down. I'm looking at the paper. I said, system's down? She says, yeah. I said, well, can I fax you? So she couldn't even pull up my POA. I said, well, can I fax it to you? She goes, oh, we don't have fax machines. I said, can I email you? She says, we don't do email. I'm like, am I Albany, New York, right? I'm talking to New York. This is New York Department of Revenue. She wanted me to mail her the POA and call her back in a couple of weeks.
Snail mail.
And call her back in a couple of weeks. And I'm calling to pay. So the client owed this. It was a mess. It claimed to me for help. And the client owed originally the client owed like $20,000. I worked on it and got it down to, I think, like, I don't know, 10,000. Whatever. It was a little, so, and the client's like, go ahead and pay it. I said, we got it down to this. They agree that this is what I owe, that this is what you owe. This is what you owe, 10,000. And they'll give me a little penalty waiver if we can go ahead and pay it. And she's like, pay it. Here's my banking information, pay it. So I'm calling them to pay it for her. I'm not calling to and the lady's like, oh, I mean, I got money I want to give you. Oh, well, mail me that POA and call me like in 2 weeks. Better make it 3 weeks. Like, what?
1960.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 1960, yeah. Mabel, give me the Department of Revenue. I mean, but you would have thought it would be states. Illinois is another one. Illinois is another one it's like the 70s when you call. But North Carolina is very good, so I don't ever want to say anything bad about them. The hold times on the phone are bad, but they're bad everywhere right now. I think everybody's just making a lot of calls. But yesterday, I spent a lot of time on hold. I know we're getting through, though. You were talking to the IRS.
Yeah, but then they couldn't find the person I was looking for.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. That'll happen on a Friday, too. And it being a short week, too, with the holiday on Monday, I think really...
We've had quite a few Monday holidays.
Yeah, and I said it last week after a month of holidays. Okay, so I want to talk briefly. So this is what we do. We talk to the IRS. You got a problem, you got letters, you got things, bring them to us. That's what we do, and we love to do it. Believe it or not, I really enjoy doing it. I have got, before we take this break, I'm going to talk about healthcare sharing ministries. Did you get a chance to read this at all? No, I should have given this to you to look over. This is really interesting. I learned a lot about healthcare sharing ministries. You know, they're not deductible at all. They're not deductible as a charitable contribution, and they're not deductible as a business expense. Is
it not like health insurance?
It's not health insurance. Not
No,
according
it's
to the
not
IRS.
insurance,
I'm going to talk about that when we get back. But I've got a handout. I've got the new handout, the 2024 handout. And if you want this handout, call the office and tell them you want the retirement plan. I've got it for self-employed people. So you self-employed people, okay, this is for self-employed people that do not have employees. I've got some retirement ideas for you guys. And I've compiled it with the Bradford Tax Institute. They do a great job of pulling data together. And it basically talks about, so you are a self-employed person. You're typically filing a Schedule C, or you're a husband-wife partnership. Okay, you're self-employed, sole proprietorship or partnership, and you want to set up a retirement plan. There are some good options, and this really breaks it down simple for you. If you want to do a SEP IRA, 401k, simple IRA, a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, or a defined benefit plan, it's just a simple little handout. Be more than happy to give it to you. It's retirement plans, and then if you are, so that's page 1. Page 2 is if you are an S Corp or a C Corp, where you are the only employee. Okay, so this is typically just a one employee, quick handout, again for the same 6 plans, a SEP, a 401, a simple, a traditional, a Roth, or a defined benefit. And it just tells you what the limits are, the contribution limits. And really, if you're self-employed out there and you're not doing some kind of a retirement plan, you're really missing out, because there are good tax deferral and tax sheltering that you can be doing with your retirement plan. So give me a call, 828-289-9300. I'll be more than happy to email these to you, and then we can have a little conversation about what you can do. People call me about this in like October. October's not the time to do it. Now's the time to do it, because you can. It's easier to fund it during the year in smaller increments. You know, your traditional IRA, the limit is $8,000 this year. I'm sorry, $7,000, $8,000 if you're over 50, right, per person. Well, if you got to come up with $8,000, you know, in December or even April of the following year, that's a big chunk. But if you can manage to put away, you know, $600-700 a month, it's easy to do. They're easy to set up. Let's take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about healthcare sharing ministries. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
As we get ready for this year's tax season, there's one thought on everyone's mind. Will Gilbert's hair look fabulous this year? Oh, yes, it will. How can I say that? Because I go to Robin Saunders at RSL Salon. Whether it's a good haircut, a pedicure, or a manicure, you can count on RSL Salon. Call Robin at 828-289-9110, because everyone deserves to look fabulous. I want to tell you about a little-known Rutherford County gem, Integrity Marble and Granite, located at 287 Shiloh Road in Forest City. They are the premier stone fabrication company in the western North Carolina region. They specialize in granite, marble, and natural stone, offering complete design and installation. Their design center and Kohler showroom features vanities, decorative accessories, bathroom, and kitchen fixtures. You do not have to go to Charlotte or Asheville for this kind of quality. We have it right here in Forest City. Stop in their showroom and browse their beautiful displays, or you can call 828-247-8801 for a free quote. You can also go to their website, www.integritymarblegranite.com, and look at the pictures and see samples of their available materials. Now, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes, and they will give you $100 off any sink purchase. That's Integrity Marble and Granite.
Stop in soon to Tri-City Outdoor Power Equipment, located at 221 Daniel Road in Forest City. They're your local Bobcat tractor dealership headquarters. They also carry brands like Spartan, Toro, Husqvarna, and Red Max, offering backpack leaf blowers, chainsaws, trimmers, zero-turn mowers, and side-by-side utility vehicles. They're fully stocked for landscaping supplies, rock, stone, colored mulch, and much more. Let Tri-City Outdoor Equipment on 221 Daniel Road in Forest City help you keep your lawn and garden looking great. Visit them soon or call 828-287-8778.
We are back. Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9. Those of you live streaming us, www.wcab59.com. There's Emily and I live in the Blue Room.
It's actually a link on YouTube if you're going to live stream.
Yeah, it's a link on YouTube if you want to live stream. If you go to the website, you can get the audio.
Yeah.
And it's good audio. It's very, very good. I, of course, have the old multi-band Motorola at the house. Wow. Oh, I get the AM crackle. I love the AM crackle. There's tubes in it. It's an old tuber, and it's got solid state circuitry.
There you go.
Yeah, cutting edge. I don't know how old it is, but it's old. I think it's probably. I think my parents got it when I was like a little child, like little. So it's old. It's been around for a while, but it still works, and I use it. And I listen to Tom in the morning. I listen to Tom Saturday mornings. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I get up listening to Tom. So we are here, and you know what I want to do, Tom? I really want to do this. I'm going to talk to Lou. I want to do some live broadcasts from some of these call around people. I'm serious. They're listening. I know they're listening because they listen to me. I want to do I want to sit on that one lady's front porch and do our program live from there.
What, Union News?
Yeah.
Brenda Kelly?
Brenda. And, I'm drawing a blank. Tom's looking at me.
You drew a blank. I know.
I drew a blank.
Yeah.
I drew a blank. The fella's name, Sweet Thing.
Oh, Luther.
Luther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luther, how big's your porch?
Oh, he's usually at the service station in downtown Ellenboro with a coffee and a biscuit.
At the service station.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's exactly what I want to do. A live
biscuit,
program
let's
with a
go.
coffee and a biscuit. That sounds like a Saturday morning program to me.
Pump gas for people.
I used to do that. I used to pump gas when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a credit card thing on my belt, and I would swipe their credit card, put air in their tire. I'd check their oil. Yeah, if I didn't fall into the motor bay of some of those old cars. Oh yeah, that's what I used to do. Okay, and Washburn store. I'm telling you, we need to. Tri-City Tire wants us to come and do
Yeah.
a live feed there too,
Okay.
from the mulch pile. Just put us. Okay, let's talk about health care sharing ministries. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because people will bring us their as they'll either try to put it as a charitable contribution or as a medical deduction. And according to the IRS code, it is neither. It is neither. Now, I have yet to run into a situation where the IRS has denied it, and I know that people have because I've seen tax returns where people have. And unless we do and specifically ask them, because they'll say, this is my insurance premiums. Now, again, Tax Cut and Jobs Act changed a lot of that because standard deduction went so high that people weren't doing Schedule A, so they weren't getting the deduction there. So for most people, this is a moot point for the charitable contribution or the medical expense, but people have tried this. So are contributions to healthcare sharing ministries tax deductible? The answer is no. Contributions are not charitable contributions or medical expenses.
Well, it couldn't be charitable contributions because you got goods and services.
But, thank you, Emily. You're thinking like an enrolled agent. But no, you're absolutely right. That is one of the legs holding that argument up. But where people are getting confused is, so let's ask the question: what is a healthcare sharing ministry? So, and this is all just a distilled from the from tax code and the things out there. So an HCSM. So it facilitates the sharing of medical expenses among its members. So this is the nutshell. You have these healthcare sharing ministries. Most people know what they are. Originally, you had to be part of whatever the faith-based group is. So the Mennonites did this. I know Lutherans did this. They even, and in some big cities, they even had a hospital, like they would have the Lutheran hospital. Different groups, religious groups have done this, and you had to actually be a member of that religious group, or it was community-based. You had to be a member of that community. And what happens is they're set up as nonprofit entities where you're sharing the expenses. The idea is that by sharing the burden, everybody puts money in, and by sharing the burden, you're going to reduce medical costs for everybody. Good idea, but in practice, it really hasn't worked, and several have actually gone bankrupt. I think when the whole Obamacare thing happened, a lot of people went to these healthcare sharing ministries, joined them, and then, like you said earlier to me, they treated it like traditional insurance. And it's not traditional insurance. So in theory, what you're supposed to do is you go to the doctor and you have whatever procedure you have done. And when they ask you, do you have insurance? You say no, because you don't have insurance. You are actually a member of a healthcare sharing ministry. Okay? So the answer is no. And then you pay the doctor or the hospital or whatever for whatever it is you're having done. And usually if you pay cash, you get a reduction, a big reduction. You know, I told my story of I had to go have a procedure done, and they sent me the bill, and I called them up to pay it, and I got a bill, whatever the bill was, it was like $2,000 or $3,000, and they said, well, wait until you get all the bills. And I said, what do you mean all the bills? I said, well, everybody's going to send you a bill because there were multiple services involved in your procedure. So when you get all the bills, call us back. So I got a bill from everybody. I got a bill from the nurses. I got a bill from the hospital, even though I didn't go to the hospital. I was at the doctor's office. I'm like, why is the hospital sending me a bill? Oh, because we're part of the hospital. I'm like, okay. I mean, I think the janitor sent me a bill. Everybody sent me a bill. Okay, so I called them. I said, I think I got them all. It was like $4,000. And she said, okay, hold on. So it's cash? I said, yeah, cash. I'll write you a check. How much do I owe you? She comes back and she goes, $2,200. I said, well, you just got that bill in half. She said, oh, yeah, because you're paying cash. I said, what? Nowhere did that even make sense to me. And then I had the thought, I said, what if I pay with a credit card? She goes, oh, yeah, you can do that. So I used my SkyMiles card. Hey, I got 2,200 miles. That's a lot. And I paid for it, and the price didn't go up. It was the same price.
And you paid the credit card bill like immediately.
Oh,
right?
I don't carry.
I
don't carry a balance. I'm a financial planner. I could not carry a balance. I couldn't sleep at night if I carried a balance. I would literally lay awake on the pillow with my eyes open.
Just an important thing to throw in there.
Yeah, I do not carry a balance on credit cards. I only use them. Because online nowadays, when you're in the office, you buy things for the office. I hate putting my credit card on any of these websites. You don't know when they're going to get hacked. Hey, QuickBooks got hacked. You know, they say, oh, we're the gold standard. No, you're not. You just got hacked. The IRS got hacked. Yep. So I only use credit cards for that. I don't use my debit card or ACH for that. Anyway, so healthcare. So that's the theory. So I pay. So if I would have been a member of one of these, I would have paid the $2,200, and then I would have taken that receipt and I would have submitted it to the healthcare sharing ministries. Now, people expected that healthcare sharing ministry to just write them a check for $2,200. No, it doesn't work that way. You get a part of that back, and it seems like whatever part they feel like giving you. So a lot of people have joined these, and this is where a lot of the confusion came in. So they facilitate the sharing of expenses among its members. Members are like-minded individuals who share a common religious or ethical belief, and there we go with that ethical belief. And originally, a lot of these churches, the members were people who didn't smoke, didn't drink, lived Christian lifestyles, which we know medically, statistically, actuarially live longer lives with fewer health problems. So when they opened it up to just anybody, I think is when a lot of the problems happened. But that's for another program. I've got 1 minute left. To qualify, an organization has to have been in business since 1999. This is IRS code. Now, and a healthcare sharing ministry must qualify as a nonprofit 501c3. And this is, Emily, where I think a lot of the people got the idea that, so you join it, you're paying, $300 a month, you're $3,600. People tried to put it as a charitable donation. Other people tried to write it off as insurance. The answer is no to both. No to both. But I'm going to talk about this again. I'm going to keep going because there are advantages to it. It's actually a cheaper way to have insurance. But anyway, it is not deductible. I wanted to get that out. Okay, we're out of time. The program is Gilbert Talks Taxes. I will be back. Maybe you'll join me, maybe not. I will be back next Saturday, 8 a.m., right here, WCAB, AM 590, FM 100.9.
I'm satisfied.